just great authenticity in the storyline as well as great murders. Well, great murders, great mystery, and fabulous characters. And I'll
I
stop
don't know.
talking.
I have no authenticity to bring to murdering.
Hi, everyone. It's the Book Cougars, two middle-aged women on the hunt for a good read. I'm Emily.
And I'm Chris, and we're here today with a very special guest, Amy Tector.
Woohoo! Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Of course, it's great to see you again. We are really thrilled that your third Dominion Archives mystery book has just published. Today, we're recording on April 16th, and the release day is April 16th. So
Happy
congrats.
birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so this is actually Amy's fourth book. Her first was The Honeybee Emeralds, and then in the Dominion Archives mystery series, there's The Foulest Things, Speak for the Dead, and now Honor the Dead. Can you tell us a little bit about this new release?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for highlighting that cover, which I really love, with the little dog, very important character. So Honor the Dead opens with Kate Spencer, who was the protagonist from the previous book, Speak for the Dead. She's a coroner. She's got some troubles. She's grumpy and cranky and maybe not very social, and she's not in Ottawa where we had found her in the previous book. Instead, she's in the Eastern Townships, which is actually where I'm from, and I think a lot of people are aware of the Eastern Townships of Quebec these days because of Louise Penny. So I am treading on Penny territory in my setting, but I just really wanted to write about my hometown and where I'm from, so that's why the Townships is there. So Kate, Dr. Kate is in the Eastern Township. She's sort of biding her time. She's got some professional setbacks. And of course, lo and behold, she stumbles across a murder, I should say. Somebody at the neighboring farm has been shot with deadly accuracy through the eye, and a metal detector is found by his side. So even though Kate shouldn't really be involving herself, she can't help it, and she gets involved in the mystery. So uncovers small town secrets. And because I love the archives and history so much, she has to go to the archives and do some historical research and look at microfilm. And there's a historical component that sort of weaves into this story of betrayal and drugs and lies and secrets and maybe even some lost gold. So and that's Honor the Dead.
And is it too much of a spoiler to ask you about the dog?
Well, so Kate, my character, she's a very lonely person who has had a lot of trials and tribulations, and she comes across a dog in the course of this story and befriends the dog. And it's not a spoiler. I say nothing bad happens to the dog. No harm befalls the dog.
That is key. We always want to know that
Yeah,
about animals. I'm
absolutely.
reading
Yeah.
one right now that's a bit challenging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard. So the dog is gonna come out okay at the end.
Very cool. And again, everybody, there's the little dog
Yeah.
walking on the path. So, yeah, beautiful cover.
Congratulations. I can't wait to dig in.
Well, and we're also here to talk about our Friday reads. So, I'll jump in.
Sure.
And I don't remember where this one came from, but it was a library loan I had put on hold. It's called A Chance Meeting: Intertwined Lives of American Writers and Artists, 1854 to 1967 by Rachel Cohn. And it's so I mean, I haven't started it yet. This is going to be my weekend. But what she does is she looks at all of these different authors like Mark Twain and Willa Cather, who met at his 70th birthday party when he was 70 and she was like 26. And then I mean, not that it starts there necessarily, but then all of these different interconnected lives like Henry James, Ulysses S. Grant, William James, Gertrude Stein. So like each chapter has these relationships, and then people show up in other relationships with other writers and
Mm.
figures. So I'm looking forward to it. It's from 2004. I believe 2004, 2006, and it won some good awards and got nominated for some good, first book type awards. So really looking forward to having a literary weekend with these people and Rachel.
Fun. Amy, what about you?
Yeah, I'm reading Other People's Things by Carrie Ann King. And this has been in my TBR pile for, well, only since Christmas, actually, which is pretty good. I'm loving it. I'm on page 93, I think. And it's the story of a young woman who can't help but move things. So she has like a long rap sheet of petty theft,
Mm.
but she's not actually stealing things. She has this sort of primal urge, need to take things and move them other places. So she calls it relocation. So she's not stealing, but of course it gets misinterpreted. And when she does that, I think, there are nice or things happen as a result of her moving things. So the book opens and she's, sort of narrowly skirted going to jail, and she's got to stay on the narrow path, the straight and narrow, but she can't help but move a book from one person's house to another person's house, and in so doing it's sparking all these consequences and problems for everybody, including herself, that she's trying to navigate. And so it's a little, there's like a hint of magic to it, which I'm really enjoying, but the main character is really sort of sparky and funny, and there's a real sort of cast of characters. It's set in Spokane, Washington. I don't know if I've said that right, but I don't know anything about that city, so I'm learning a lot and really enjoying it. It's a fun read.
Very
Oh,
cool.
that's great. Gosh, that
Mm.
reminds me, I grew up in a very small town called Yellow Springs, Ohio. And in the police report in the weekly newspaper, it was humorous to read the police report. And sometimes it would be like, a woman set her coffee cup down, and when she returned, it had moved.
Oh, it's
Like, she called the
relocated.
police because
Yeah,
it freaked her out, you know? I mean, I often can't find where I put my coffee cup, but I just wonder, like, how those people feel when their things go
yeah,
missing,
Yeah.
It
yeah.
would be very freaky.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm reading a book that's not out yet, and it's,
Mm.
coming out on May 28th, and it's called The Editor: How Publishing Legend Judith Jones Shaped Culture in America by Sarah Franklin. Judith Jones was a revered editor. She passed away not too long ago in her 90s. She's well known for taking from the slush pile The Diary of Anne Frank. And also, she edited Julia Child's Mastering the Art of French
Mm.
Cooking, among many other people. And Sarah Franklin was studying food in graduate school and got the opportunity to interview Judith Jones, and she thought that was just gonna be an assignment, and she'd write this article, and they ended up developing a friendship that was very dear, where they would get together and cook a lunch and then chat. And after Judith's passing, her family asked Sarah if she'd be interested in coming and looking at her archives and writing this book, which she did. I'm really enjoying it. It starts out with her kind of as an older teenager moving into young adulthood, where she gets the opportunity to work in publishing. And it starts kind of, she's typing a letter off to Sylvia Plath, which just cracked me up. Like, yeah, you know. So she had a very interesting life, and I'm a few chapters in and really enjoying it. It's kind of a walk down history as
Mm.
well in publishing.
No, she looks like such a young one there in that
Yeah.
Yeah,
photo.
yeah,
Look at her at her typewriter. I mean, I
yeah,
think of her like, what does that paper say? Dear
yeah.
Sylvia.
Oh,
Yeah.
very
So,
cool. Lots of good
yeah,
reading going on.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Let us
Yeah.
know what you're reading and what's inspiring joy in your reading life in the comments
In
down
the comments
below.
below. And check out Amy Tector's new book. This is a part of a series, but Amy, you could probably vouch for this better than I can since I haven't started it yet, that it's a good standalone as well.
Absolutely.
You don't have to read.
Yes.
Okay.
Goodreads concurs. You don't need to have read the other ones. You can start with that one.
Very
And I
cool.
would say the book Cougars too, because Chris read the first and the second. I've only read the second, and I jumped right in and loved it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yay.
yeah,
Good
yeah,
stuff. And saying again, Amy is an actual archivist, so she knows. There's just great authenticity in the storyline as well as great murders well, great murders, great mystery, and fabulous characters. And I'll
I
stop
don't know.
talking.
I have no authenticity to bring to murdering.
Or
Let me
so
just
she
say that
said.
now.
Oh, and we forgot to mention that Amy was our guest on episode 177
Mhm.
of the podcast, which you can listen to the audio only version on BookTube. We'll put the link down below or on your podcast apps. Look for episode 177 and episode 200,
Oh, yeah.
helping us celebrate, where she recommended books she couldn't wait for us to read
Yeah.
amongst a crew of other wonderful people. Thanks so much, Amy.
Well, thank you. This was really fun.